trade. Lupin, Sun Pharma from the Pharma Pack along with Biocon are having a good session, and so is the likes of an Apollo Hospital. IT, generally speaking, is in a sweet spot this morning, especially frontline IT names. Mid-cap IT, though, struggling, even though there is very heavy open interest addition on counters like NIT Tech and Tata Elxsi. HUL, Kotak Mahindra Bank are amongst the other gainers this morning. On the sell side, you've got BPCL, HPCL and IOC that are down 2 to 3% each. Power Grid, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Titan and L&T are trading lower too. Amongst the mid-cap names, PNB Housing is now up 11% as a chase or the fight between Axis and HDFC Limited heats up to acquire the housing major. Vakrangi is once again seeing 5% upper circuit. Container Corp is having a positive morning. Apollo Hospitals, Page Industries are amongst the other movers in trade. In the small cap space, Lok Industries, sugar companies are all trading higher. Nirav Chheda now of Nirmal Bank joins in. Nirav, first up on the index, looking a lot better than what the SGX was pointing to this morning. 10,800 is being respected. A couple of days to go before we end the June series. What would be the expectation of this month's expiry, and also would you initiate any fresh calls on the Nifty this morning?
Yeah. Nifty has been consolidating from the last 4-5 weeks, and I believe this consolidation should go on further. So for this week, I'm expecting a muted expiry. I don't think Nifty will move about 10,900 odd levels. There is enough resistance around 10,900 and 11,000 odd levels, with the call of 11,000 being the highest amongst calls. If you see on the put side also, the 10,700, 10,600 put options continue to have a good amount of put built up. So again, going down below 10,700 or 750 is unlikely. So all in all, I believe Nifty should move in a range of about 100 150 points, with 10,850 or 900 being the cap on the upside, and about 10,750 being the cap on the downside. So there will be no trade as of now. If you see, the premiums are also very less. Even at 10,900, 11,000 calls, which are only about 100 points from here, you are seeing only about 5 to 10 rupees premium which is there. Also, if you look at the Bank Nifty, there is a trade there. I believe Bank Nifty has a resistance around 26,800 odd levels and 27,000 odd levels, with 27,000 calls being the highest amongst calls, and there is huge OI built up around those levels, and there is short built up also. So I believe Bank Nifty can come down. There are certain banks which are looking weak, certain PSU banks which are making newer 52-week lows. So those are the banks which will take Bank Nifty lower. So for the next 3 days, one can be buying Bank Nifty put options at current levels.
So you don't think the short covering in Bank Nifty is expected to continue up until expiry then, Nirav?
No, in fact, this short covering rally is likely to fizzle out at least up till 26,800, 27,000 levels. So I believe there are still shorts, and the short covering that you are seeing is not really aggressive, and it can fizzle out in this expiry. You will see new shorts being built in the next expiry.
Right. What about a couple of those banks then? The HDFC Twins and Bajaj Twins have largely supported the markets in the month of June. I want to throw in PNB to that as well, because that's the big mover this morning. Any trade on the counters that I just mentioned?
Yeah. Very interesting thing that really happened in HDFC Bank is, in the last expiry it had made a new high, and you've seen huge volumes around the 2150 odd level, which was its high. Those have been selling volumes. So very interestingly, though HDFC Bank is moving up, I believe it is going to witness a lot of short built up, in fact selling around 2120 and 2150 odd levels. When it goes up, it can move up till those levels, but I would prefer booking profits at those levels, and waiting out for a breakout, because if the selling comes, the stock can come down towards 1900 odd levels also. So I'll be waiting in HDFC Bank. A very clear trade in PNB is on the short side. If you're seeing the PSUs you pack, a lot of selling has come in the last week, and I believe there are shorts which are come into the system. So PNB can come down towards the 70 odd levels. You can keep a stop loss of about 85 for your shorts and go short for the next 4 days.
Right. Also moving on from these names that we just talked about, what about Reliance Industries, Nirav? How does that counter look?
See, this is one counter which looks very positive at this moment. There has been no signs of weakness in this counter. There is a little bit of selling which is coming in around 1020, 1030 levels, but this stock continues to hold longs, and long built up has been the feature of this stock in the last month. You're seeing newer longs coming into the system, and this stock can further go up at least up till 1100 odd levels. So there is no point in selling this stock. One can even buy at current levels with a stop loss of 980, which is a very good support area, and go long on the July futures.
Right, go long on July futures. That's the word coming in on Reliance Industries. What happens to Vedanta? Big move on the counter this morning. The stock is holding on. Had a good run last week too. On Vedanta, do we have a trade going? And beyond Vedanta as well, any other metal names that one could consider going long on?
Yeah. See, Vedanta is going through actually a decline. It is witnessing a lower top, lower bottom formation. But as you said, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, it has witnessed good amount of buying. And I believe if this stock can cross about 250 odd levels, that is the level where you can look to buy. At this level, this is just a small pullback in this decline. So 250 needs to be broken above. Even there are a lot of shorts in this stock. So I don't think one can go long at current levels. Even for other stocks, if you are looking at Tata Steel and Hindalco, there are signs of consolidation, but then there are no clear signs of going long. The only stock which I believe you can go long on is JSW Steel, because it continues to move up, and there are a lot of longs in the system still. So if you are looking for a long trade in the metals, is the only stock you can go long on.
Well, Tata Steel is the only company you can go long on if you're looking at long trades in the metals pact. What about OMCs? I'm surprised they're holding up this morning, but we all know that the trajectory on crude is positive. These counters started with a marginal gain, but now really 1% low on HPCL, BPCL and IOC. Further downside, do you think can be anticipated? Is there a shorting opportunity still here?
Yeah. No, I would believe shorting opportunities are still not there in this counter. Both the counters, HPCL and BPCL, if you see, they have been falling continuously, but in the last 5-6 weeks there has been good consolidation in these stocks, and these stocks are now likely to be in a further consolidated state. Selling opportunities will only come if they crack another 4-5%. There will be a clear sign of a breakdown. Only then you can see huge cuts in this stocks, but not at current levels.
Right, that's the word coming in on OMCs. Infosys is doing a good job this morning. I believe it must have been post the AGM on the weekend, where management, of course, has laid out the course of action. On Infosys, how much more can the stock run from here? 1268. Does it look like a good long trade?
Oh yeah. Infosys, I believe, can really run up from here. This is the stock one should be buying at every dip. It can go up towards 1350, 1400 odd levels. Yes, it had moved up from about 900 odd levels, but the longs continue to be built in this stock. There has been volumes also on the upper side, so good delivery based buying also is going on. I believe this stock will continue to make a higher top, higher bottom formation. It has also broken above its important resistance of 1250 odd levels, so one can go long even from a trading perspective. You can keep a stop loss of 1240 and go long with a target of about 1300 for this expiry. If you're looking for a higher percentage, then you can go long on the July expiry with a 1350 target.
Right. Nirav, stay with us. We'll take a quick break, but while we're taking the break, here are the management of Infosys that laid out the roadmap for the future at the company's 37th annual general meeting.
Revenues from digital services, which, as you know, is a clear focus area for us, stood at 25.5% of total revenues for the same period.
The first pillar is how do we build a new business in what is called the digital world. We already have a very successful business, and I will show you some examples of that. But the future in terms of where all of our clients are going, it depends upon building and scaling what we call the agile digital business. The second, we want to make sure that everything we've been doing for our clients so far in their core areas is further energized, and we are leveraging it with artificial intelligence. The third, we want to make sure that we expand the skill sets of all of our employees, and we provide an infrastructure that allows them to develop their own skills at the pace that they want as the market demands that. And the fourth, we want to make sure that localization in many of our markets becomes a part of our future so that we become part of the new ecosystem as we grow, whether it's the US, in Europe, or in the Australian markets.
As trading comes to close, it's time to analyze the day gone by, the ups and downs, the winners and losers. It's time to count your gains, cut your losses with market experts, newsmakers, and game changers. Training Day, weekdays 2:30 p.m. only on Business Television India.
Wouldn't it be great if all your business apps work together as one? Introducing an all-in-one app suite to run your entire business at one place, at one price. Zoho One, the operating system for business.
Welcome back. You're watching F News Spotlight. Nirav, in terms of recommendations, what are stocks that you like and that you're recommending?
Yeah. One is a buy and one is a sell. I like Bharti Airtel at current levels. If you see, it has actually witnessed a lot of selling pressure and has been consolidating from quite some time now in between 365 on the downside and about 390 on the upside. I believe it is now, stock is ripened. I believe it can move up towards 410, 420 very quickly. One can buy at current levels. It is still near its support zone and go long on the June futures with a target of about 390. You can keep a stop loss of about 367, which is a very good support area for this stock. The second one is a sell on Sun TV. It has broken down below its important levels. These levels have been intact for quite some time. From the last 2 months or so, it has been saving about 850 odd levels on the downside and always been closing above the same. I believe one can go short in this counter at current levels with a stop loss of 850 and a target of about 800.
Are you trading on any IT counters beyond the frontline names, Nirav?
The trade on the IT sector, in fact, as a whole, will be long only on the large caps. Looking at the mid caps, NIT Tech, KPIT, even Hexaware, I'm seeing short built up in these counters, and these counters as of now look like they are going to witness further selling, at least 4 to 5% from current levels. There has been distribution which has been going on even in NIT Tech. If you see 1120, 1150 continues to be a strong resistance on the upside. So in fact, I will be selling and not buying the mid cap IT counters. I'll be going short on NIT Tech with a stop loss of about 1120 and a possible target of about 1050.
Right. Thanks, Nirav. Good talking to you this morning. That's the word coming in on the street. Stock-specific trades that Nirav has just highlighted for us. Well, in